who can be a wild card entry. A possible name is Mallikarjun Kharge. What works for Mallikarjun Kharge? He's a veteran leader who knows the party, the Congress in and out. What goes against him is that he doesn't have any pan-India appeal, particularly in the Hindi belt. What works for him is that he has served as a minister during the UPA. He has been leading the Congress in Parliament since 2014. What goes against him again is that he is 80 years old and will not be really able to provide that necessary boost that the Congress needs at this point. The race to become the Congress party's next president is between Mallikarjun Kharge and Shashi Tharoor. Kharge is the Gandhi camp's candidate for the post. Moreover, he has also got the backing of the members of the G23. His list of supporters also includes Digvijay Singh, who withdrew from the race this morning, as well as Rajasthan Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot, who was once upon a time front-runner for the top job. Remember, Gehlot backed out after apologizing to the Gandhis for the rebellion in Rajasthan over Pilot's possible elevation to the post of the Chief Minister. Today was the last day to file nominations to become the party president. The focus will now move towards October 8th, which is the last day to withdraw nominations. On October 17th, voting will take place, and on October 19th, the name of the new president of the Congress party will be announced. The momentum is with Mallikarjun Kharge, which begs the question, is this election a no contest? Joining me shortly on the show is one of the contenders of this top job, Congress MP Shashi Tharoor. But first, here's what happened today.
It's the most expected twist in the race for Congress's next president. There won't be a Gandhi in the top post for the first time in more than 20 years, but the Parivar has made sure their man is in the running. Mallikarjun Kharge, leader of opposition in the Rajya Sabha and a through and through Gandhi loyalist, filed his nomination today.
मुझे जो सहकार मिला उनको, उसलिए उनका फिर एक बार मैं आभारी हूं। कांग्रेस पार्टी के जो उसूल हैं, जो आइडियोलॉजी है, उस आइडियोलॉजी के साथ मैं बचपन से जुड़ा हूं।
From the looks of it, Congress ka haath is with Kharge. Apart from getting the Gandhis' blessings, Kharge walked into the AICC with signatures of 30 proposers, who were some of the most prominent names in the party, including Rajasthan Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot, who was the first choice of the Gandhis for the top post up until his rebellion last week. Another proposer was Digvijay Singh, who up until the morning of the nomination had declared that he too was in the race.
उनसे मैंने पूछा था कि आप अगर फॉर्म भर रहे हो तो मैं नहीं भरूंगा। उनका इरादा है फॉर्म भरने का, तो मैंने कहा कि ठीक है, मैं आपका प्रस्तावक बनूंगा।
Kharge will be going up against Shashi Tharoor, a 3-time member of parliament and a former union minister. Unlike Kharge, Tharoor wasn't flanked by the who's who of Congress when he filed his nomination papers.
I was not prepared for the extraordinarily enthusiastic collection of Congress workers. I have a vision for the Congress, for the internal reorganization of the Congress, which I will be sending to every one of the 9,100 and odd delegates.
A Gandhi loyalist versus a member of the G23. Are the odds stacked against Shashi Tharoor?
Kharge ji will be elected. In fact, my appeal is that he should be elected unanimously.
Okay, you want Mr. Tharoor to be withdrawing from the contest?
I think it would be in the fitness of things.
Is this a democratic election to lead a party that is going through its worst ever crisis, or just a friendly fight? And at the end of the day, will the next Congress chief simply be a proxy of the Gandhi family?
because you have entered the contest for presidential elections of your party formally. What is making you contest? Because you, along with Manish Tiwari, Karti Chidambaram, have been demanding transparency in this entire election process. I've been following your tweets. You have been consistently raising questions about this entire election. Let me ask you a direct question. Why are you contesting?
Well, I think that though the party presidential election is an internal exercise, it also represents an opportunity to ignite widespread public interest in the Congress and to galvanize our party workers at the same time. So, to my mind, we just can't continue with business as usual. We've been kind of stuck at the ceiling of 19% of the vote in 2 successive elections. We need to try something different, constitute a fresh appeal to the public, to those who drifted away from us in the last 2 elections, and bring them back to us. And to my mind, Shri Rahul Gandhi was right when he said that a democratic contest will only strengthen the party. And I do have some ideas to reform and re-energize the party. I'm planning to give a manifesto to my voters once I've submitted, I've just submitted the form, so I will be doing so shortly, in which I will recommend that we need to do certain things to re-energize the party after our recent setbacks. Decentralizing authority is a key part of it within the party, increasing consultative mechanisms at all levels, and giving our karyakartas more access to the leadership that affects their daily professional lives. So all of this is something we will absolutely have to do. And as far as why I'm contesting, if you believe strongly enough in something, you've got to be prepared to stick your neck out for it. And that's the approach that's guided me, frankly, in both personal and political life. So I think it's worth doing, and I certainly hope that this contest will benefit the party. Digvijay Singh came to see me on Thursday when he decided to contest as well. And we embraced each other as friends and brothers in the party, and we said that this is not going to be a battle between rivals, it's going to be a friendly contest between colleagues to capture the affections or the votes of our own colleagues, of our own party workers. That's what this is all about.
Okay, let me give you some statistics here. From 49.1% votes in 1984 Lok Sabha to just 19.7% in the last Lok Sabha elections. Now that you're contesting and you are saying that you will be presenting a manifesto of your ideas to the 9,100 voters who formed this electoral college, Dr. Tharoor, give me 4 reasons, 3 to 4 reasons that you think went wrong with your party. Where did your party go wrong?
Look, Mari, I've literally not had a chance to yet get the message out to my own voters. This is a manifesto directed at them. It's about what the voters, who are the workers of the party, want to see. So it would not be fair for me to go public before I've gone private, before I've gone to them, sent them something directly. I'm sure it'll eventually become public. These things do. But I've broadly given you a clue. It's about decentralizing and empowering our party workers at the lower levels, but it's much more detailed than that. I have about 10 points I'll be putting out. And I hope that in the process we will find a responsive echo from our party.
Tell me, what is Dr. Shashi Tharoor's roadmap for the revival of the Congress?
So, first of all, we have to strengthen our own party, and that includes massive work on the grassroots levels. One of the things I've been impressed by the party in my own state is the ethos of politics as social work between elections. So we're not just a party that comes to life every 5 years to fight elections. In between, our party workers are there with the people and helping them in all sorts of mundane ways. I mean, an old lady doesn't know how to fill in a ration card application or a EPL certificate form. A party worker helps. Somebody else's house is broken into by a gunda, but the local cops won't note the complaint because the gunda is connected to the ruling party. So the party worker goes and finds out, calls me as the MP who's not part of the ruling party and says, hey, will you talk to the commissioner or somebody high up and get them to come and investigate this. All these are things that have actually happened I'm talking about. That kind of thing where every time in between elections, the party is present in the daily lives of ordinary people. That kind of politics the Congress used to be very good at, and in many parts of the country we're not doing. I'd like to see more of that happening. I think certainly we need to turn then back to the people and mount a robust fight against the evident deficiencies of the BJP's economic governance, the rank unemployment, the issues that in fact we've been raising in Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Jodo Yatra, of unemployment, of high inflation, of faltering economic growth, all of these things also need to be brought once again front and square. We can't just sit back and let the BJP have a free ride. And then as far as the other aspects are concerned, we've seen disastrous decisions by the government that have actually affected the daily lives of people. Demonetization was one example of it. But day after day, we're hearing great speeches and very poor implementation. We need to constantly point this out. We need to convert Parliament into a truly meaningful debating forum where we challenge the government on issue after issue using the parliamentary rules, not by disruption but by debate. And I think we should also take the government on in public, on the streets, when the issues so warrant, and we should do more of that as well. I think the Yatra has proven that there's tremendous appeal when the Congress party hits the ground walking.
Dr. Tharoor's spotlight is on the Yatra, and the face of this Yatra is Rahul Gandhi. Then anybody who becomes the Congress president, what role will he play? The reason why I'm asking this question is because for the longest time it is believed that Congress party cannot exist without Gandhis at the helm. How will you really break that image?
I certainly hope that the Gandhis will remain inextricably attached to the party, because I think our DNA as a party and theirs as a family is completely tied together. I hope the Gandhis will not be sort of expecting to disappear overnight. First of all, they may well have earned a rest, but it'll be foolish of the party to let go of the incredible advantages that they have brought to the Congress party. Their ethos as a family, as individuals, their undoubted political charisma, their appeal to the public, which is again on display during the Yatra. All of these things are assets for the party. And I think that they will continue, I hope, very much to be involved in the party, but very much in cooperation with the new president, whoever he or she may be. Secondly, I think that if they wanted to continue running the party, they wouldn't have held an election. And they would just have managed, if Rahul Gandhi had simply withdrawn his letter to the working committee, he'd have been president again anytime 2019 onwards. So I think it's very clear that they're genuinely anxious to step back. And so rather than implying that there's going to be some sort of remote control operating there, I think we should just hope that they will do more than they say they are going to do to be involved in a party that certainly needs their wonderful image to work with us.
And given the latest fiasco that happened in Rajasthan and Mr. Ashok Gehlot opting out of this the race for the Congress president, one view certainly is, what legitimacy and authority can Congress president really have when you cannot really decide the chief minister of a state? So that entire episode has actually raised several questions on this entire exercise.
No, first of all, I think the legitimacy comes from the process of election. There is no party in India which has had such an open and public election to elect its president. And if the Congress does that, it seems to me that the Congress is setting an example, throwing the sunlight of inner party democracy on our own work, that others should actually applaud and learn from. I think it will be very healthy if all other parties follow our example. So on that one, the legitimacy of the president should not be doubted once that president has been elected. On the question of Ashok Gehlot, who is a dear friend and a respected senior colleague of our party, all I can say is that if you're contesting an election, you're prepared to take on whoever comes down the road. If it was Mr. Gehlot, if it's Mr. Digvijay Singh today, if it's somebody else tomorrow, we'll just have to face it. And I think that's fine, because this is not a battle between rivals. It's a very friendly contest between colleagues, and that spirit that we're entering all of this. And as far as I'm concerned, it's welcome that the Congress president, Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi, have all said to both Digvijay Sahab and me that the Nehru Gandhi family welcomes these elections. They'd like to see a diverse field of candidates contesting, and they're neither directly nor indirectly backing any one candidate. I think that's great. And we should go ahead in that spirit and see what comes out of the result.
And that brings me to my final and last question, Dr. Tharoor. How do you think a non-Hindi speaking president will fit in a role of a national party of a country where over 43% people speak Hindi?
देखिए, अगर हमारी राजनीति करने की जरूरत है तो आपको हिंदी बोलना ही पड़ेगा. तो नॉन हिंदी स्पीकर को बहुत बहुत बड़े कठिनाई होंगे. फिर भी हमारे देश, हमारी राजनीति में आपको पता है कि कभी कभी बहुत महत्वपूर्ण नेताओं भी थे जो हिंदी पब्लिकली नहीं बोलते थे। आपको नाम पता है, मैं नाम नहीं इस्तेमाल करना चाहता हूं, लेकिन मैं उनमें से एक नहीं हूं। मैं तो हिंदी बोलता हूं और मैं तो हर रोज संसद से निकाल के साउंड बाइट देता हूं हिंदी चैनलों पे। इसलिए मेरे ख्याल में आपके दर्शकों को अच्छी तरह पता है कि मैं हिंदी बोल सकता हूं।
All right. Dr. Shashi Tharoor, always a pleasure to speak to you. All the best for this contest. Let me bring in my guests now. Tuhin Sinha, spokesperson of the BJP, Dr. Shama Mohammed, national spokesperson of the Congress Party, Rashid Kidwai, senior journalist, author, Neerja Chaudhary is a columnist, and we also have Professor Sanjay Kumar, he's the professor at CSDS. Dr. Shama Mohammed, it appears at the moment that this is more of a selection in the name of an election. 80-year-old Mr. Kharge is a loyalist of the family and an official candidate who has the blessings of the family. Then what is really the purpose of this election?
Maria, there is no point coming on a debate when you have a preconceived notion. Mr. Madhusudan Mistry has clearly said today that there is no official candidate from the party. So each one it's their own wish. Whoever wants to fight this election, they are most welcome to fight. Who wants to withdraw, they are most welcome to withdraw. This is the only party which has a transparent way of doing things. We are democratic, and we also have an independent election authority. I mean, we are giving out names of the proposers of each candidate. Which other party, Maria, does it? I just heard 2 days ago that JP Nadda's term has been extended. I mean, there is no election there. In 2014, a person who was facing criminal charges when the CBI was still investigating him for fake encounters was made the president of the Bharatiya Janata Party. I mean, why not question there when we are having an independent election out here? They're just extending terms. And then I heard you asking that, you know, Shashi Tharoor or Mallikarjun Kharge, I heard, that does not have a pan-Indian presence. I mean, Mallikarjun Kharge has won elections 10 times consecutively. He was the PCC president of Karnataka.
Yes,
he was
I'm
a leader of opposition in
I'm
Karnataka.
not questioning that.
He was a leader of opposition in Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha. And one more thing.
You can ask your karyakartas in Madhya Pradesh, UP, Bihar, Maharashtra, and ask them who is Mallikarjun Kharge, and then come up with an answer to that. And that was a SWOT analysis.
Yeah, and does JP Nadda have a pan-Indian presence?
I'm not saying that either.
I can go to Karnataka, I can go to Kerala, I can go to Andhra and ask who is JP Nadda. They don't know, and nobody knows JP Nadda in Kerala. Let me tell you that. Nobody knows him in Tamil Nadu.
Okay.
So you can't separate the South from the North. We are India. This sort of thing about putting down the South
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I mean, we are
it
all
is
Indians.
about South versus North here. That's a very skewed, argument that you're trying to build here. There's no difference.
That's what you are pointing at, Maria Shakir.
Not at all.
JP Nadda is not known in the South.
I'm not saying that Mr. Kharge is not
please
known in other parts only because he's from Karnataka. So don't try and take this debate in a direction of in a direction which is convenient for you.
But JP Nadda is not known in the South.
Point being made by Shama is particularly, recently we did hear that Mr. Nadda's tenure has been extended. Was there an election for that extension? It wasn't, right? Tuhin?
Well, good evening, Maria. I'm telling you, the Congress, the reason why Mr. Nadda, if at all he gets if he gets another tenure as president, the reason would be that if you look at the letter of Ghulam Nabi Azad, Rahul Gandhi has lost 39 of the last 49 elections, whereas our last two presidents have won 39 out of the 49. So if the sheer ability to lead a party of nearly 18 crore people, I think that's what should matter. Whether the person is nominated or elected does not matter. In the last 24 years, the Congress has had 2 presidents, both belonging to the family. The BJP has had 10. But if you look at the imprint of BJP, the BJP's imprint has increased 10 times over. The Congress's imprint has reduced 10 times over. So let them wax eloquent on the process of BJP president. The fact is, you have seen the way we brought about leadership changes in Gujarat.
That is because the leadership, the footprints of the BJP has increased because of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. You cannot give credit to any other political leader of your party because of that. And you made leadership changes, understanding fully well that chief ministers don't win elections. It is Prime Minister Narendra Modi's charisma which is winning elections for the BJP. And that is the reason why you can have chief minister in any state of your choice. It doesn't matter whether it is Biplab Dev or Manak Saha. It doesn't matter whether it's Vijay Rupani or Bhupendra Patel. Because it is Prime Minister Modi who's winning elections for the BJP. Let's be clear about it.
No. So in that case, the Congress should be all the more concerned about having a candidate who can give some sort of a contest to BJP under Modi.
Okay.
But instead, they go for a psycho fancy fest.
Okay.
They look for.
No,
let me complete, please. The two leaders who have opted out, Ashok Gehlot has to publicly apologize to Sonia Gandhi. Digvijay Singh, who opted out, issues a statement.
Okay,
Nothing can make me compromise on my loyalty to the family.
What contest will we see in 2024 if it is Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge versus Prime Minister Modi?
Is that the question? Is that question to me?
Yes.
Yeah. So it is our call that who becomes the president of our party. Of course, we admire Mr. Kharge. He has won elections, 10 consecutive elections, and it is now. Why should we put it as? Isn't it JP Nadda who is the president of the party? So why is it Kharge against Modi? It should be Kharge against JP Nadda. I don't get what you're trying to say. So again, what do you mean by when CLP leaders are not even allowed, the MLAs are not even allowed to elect their CM. CMs are changed. Yadurappa thrown out, Bomai just brought in. Rupani thrown out, Patel brought in. I've never seen 3 CMs in Uttarakhand. What is happening in the Bharatiya Janata Party? Where is democracy in the Bharatiya Janata Party? We have a democratic election where Maria Shakil, you're able to discuss it on television.
Yes.
We haven't heard discussions of any other party's election on television like this for the last couple of days.
Okay. So it shows that there are interests, and rightly so, on what is happening in the Congress sphere, and you should be happy that Congress is being discussed the manner in which it is being. Neerja Chaudhary, the surprise entry, it was always known that there would be an entry in the form of someone who will be backed by the Gandhis. This entry in the form of an octogenarian in Mallikarjun Kharge.
Look, Maria, the first thing I will watch for is, does Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge go to 12 Tughlaq Lane to discuss issues, or to Lodi Estate, Priyanka Vadra's residence,
or to 10 Janpad?
10 Janpad, or do Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Vadra and Sonia Gandhi come to the party office to meet with Mr. Kharge to discuss party issues? That's the first thing I will watch for.
Okay.
To know how much of a rubber stamp or not. The Gandhis are an integral part of the Congress affairs, decision-making processes. They cannot be ignored. But how much of importance is given to the new president, will determine his autonomy, persona, perception about him. Now, he's been chosen primarily because of loyalty, Dalit, and he belongs to Karnataka, where very critical elections are due for the Congress. So, but the important thing for the Congress today is not who will be the face against Narendra Modi, because the entire opposition does not have a face against Narendra Modi. What will be important to see is how does the new president revitalize the Congress organization at the grassroots level? How do they motivate the cadre, enthuse the cadre, bring in new energy, new ideas, out of the box thinking, a passion to win? How does the new president do that? Because that is where things will happen. And how does the new president reach out to the state satraps, the opposition leaders, to forge a broader opposition unity? Those are the two critical areas the new chief will have to address.
Okay, Sanjay Kumar, do you think Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge will be able to do that? Enthuse the cadres of the Congress party and also reach out to the opposition for a larger coalition?
I don't think that Mallikarjun Kharge had some magic medicine that once he becomes the president of the Congress party, he would give this medicine to all the Congress workers and they will all get enthused. I think party has been what would enthuse the workers. The victory of the Congress party in few elections, whether it is the party is headed by Mallikarjun Kharge or someone else. So the victory of the party, the success in electoral battle, that is going to give new lease of life to the party, and that will enthuse the party workers. Only having a new president in the name of Mallikarjun Kharge, I don't think that's going to help the party in motivating the party workers
Okay, Rashid, particularly talking about, because Nirja is highlighting the loyalist aspect here. A loyalist who's a veteran, versus someone who is a member of G23 and a young guard, I would say also. Will this make Sonia Gandhi stronger? And will this be seen as a second act of renunciation?
Not at all, because the political leadership continues to be in the hands of Gandhis. What Gandhis can do, it's a kind of litmus test, because since they are not in the fray and there is a perception that Mr. Kharge is a proxy of sorts of Gandhi's Hotel Janpath, they must come out and make public pronouncement that they are not, favoring one or the other. And that the PCC delegates, 9,000 of them, are free to choose. And then let us see what kind of outcome. The outcome may still be in favor of Mr. Kharge, but if there is a 20% or more traction for Shashi Tharoor, it will be making a commentary that the Congress actually is looking for a change from inside. But will Gandhis do this? I have my own doubts.
Okay.
That is the problem.
Okay, so, here is Shama Mohammed of the Congress party saying that Mr. Mistry has already said that there is no official candidate. Then why are we assuming that Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge is an official candidate? When he had 30 proposers, all of them Gandhi loyalists, and also a significant number of G23 members. Rashid?
So that is what I'm saying. It gave a kind of suspicion or indication that actually Kharge's candidature has a backing, and the manner in which Mr. Digvijay Singh was kind of elbowed out actually. So this indicates that Gandhis have some interest in Mr. Kharge. Mr. Kharge was such an outstanding person as his CV reads to be. Why is he not being projected as a chief ministerial candidate in Karnataka? Why is he was not brought in the first place as Congress president ahead of Mr. Ashok Gehlot? So these are the questions which are being
Dr. Shama Mohammed will respond to that. Shama, the point here is that if the Gandhis have nothing to do with this, that they want this entire process to be transparent and they are being neutral in this exercise, then why aren't they coming out and saying so? Because there is enough indication, the palace intrigue is only building, that the fog is only getting thicker.
I don't understand what you mean by that. I think Mr. Mistry has made it clear. I don't think Prime Minister Narendra Modi comes out and says everything. There are people who speak on their behalf, and I think Mr. Mistry said very clearly that there is no official candidate. And I recall 3 to 4 days back, even Mr. Jairam Ramesh has said the same thing, that there is no official candidate. And I also recall that when some spokesperson said something against Dr. Tharoor, there was an official statement from our party saying that nobody is supposed to speak against anyone or any delegate who wants to be a candidate, because this is a free and fair elections. Our own party people were pulled up for speaking against, I think, Dr. Tharoor. So this is the kind of democracy we have. So that came from the top, from Mrs. Gandhi itself, that she wants this to be a very free and fair election. And nobody is supposed to speak against a particular delegate, a particular contestant, for example, Dr. Tharoor. So, I mean, that itself shows, Maria, that no official candidate from the party is there. It is each one's right. They have a right to have any proposal
then
they want to have.
Then why are Rashid, Nirja and Sanjay Kumar and all of us seeing this image? Just look at this image that has come from the Congress headquarters.
That's what.
This is being seen as official candidate. And Rashid, why are you seeing Mr. Kharge as an official candidate then?
So, can I answer? Can I give you the answer for that?
Yes, please. Rashid
Maria,
will be able to respond.
Rashid
will respond, yes.
No, can I just respond with one-liner?
Okay.
Why do I feel and the rest of India feels JP Nadda is a rubber stamp of Mr. Modi and Amit Shah?
Okay, Rashid.
So, what about that? I mean, I know that he's a rubber stamp. So,
Rashid,
was there some
kind of tactical retreat?
It's democracy.
Yes. Tuhin, first you respond to that and then I bring in Rashid. Yes.
You know, it's
What do you mean
very
by unfounded
amusing to see
allegation?
the
It's
Congress.
truth. Why didn't you elect?
Give
why
us
have you taken
very
Nitin Gadkari out of the parliamentary
No, let me
party board?
answer. You
Can
can't go
answer
on and on.
Why did you take out Mr.
You know, it's
Gadkari
very
out of the parliamentary
amusing.
party board?
Okay, now please keep quiet and have the patience to hear.
Please answer
You know,
those
it's
questions.
very amusing to see the Congress wax eloquent on democracy. The Congress, if you read the Congress Constitution, Article 19 of the Constitution mandates that 20 out of 23 CWC members, 12 have to be elected. Can she name 12 elected members of CWC? You don't follow democracy at all. Forget, I'm giving you a small example.
I dare you
July,
to elect your president.
Group. Allow me to complete, please. Have the basic courtesy.
Elect your president.
In 2017,
why haven't you elected the president?
In 2017, the district. Allow me to complete my point. Don't barge in like this. Have the basic courtesy.
But you're not answering the question. Have an election.
Yes. In 2017,
Tuhin, you're not answering the question. You can't just keep going on blabbering.
What?
Okay.
No, what question?
But you have to answer why there is no election in your party.
Shama, you have made your point.
Why is there no
Shama, you have made your point.
Shama,
you have made your point.
Listen to him. Member.
Okay.
The
I
mere
have just
point.
enough time.
No, please allow me to complete this. Congress behavior of barging in. I'll answer all the questions. Whether our president is nominated or elected, should have nothing to. The Congress should have nothing to do with it. But fact is that at the end of the day, all of them have delivered for the party, and at the end of the day, all of them have enjoyed unanimous support of the party. That's point number one. Point number two, you talk about democracy in 2017. I'm giving you a small example from the grassroots. I'm giving you a small example.
You have no business questioning us, Tuhin.
District President of the Congress very affectionately referred to Rahul Gandhi as Pappu ji on a WhatsApp chat of his party. He was immediately sacked from his party. So forget giving us sermons of democracy. You can't even name the 12 elected CWC members which your
leaders are questioned,
action
is taken also against them. So let's not, try and find difference here. When such act of indiscipline is done by against your party, then you also take action. So let's not go down the path, please.
Giving sermons on democracy doesn't behove the Congress party. That's all I'm saying.
As far as, something really changed in the last 24 hours. Last evening, it was Digvijay Singh versus Shashi Tharoor. We had broken here that Mr. Kharge will be the surprise wildcard entry. But we really do not sense that it will be leading to an exit of Mr. Digvijay Singh. It is very clear that Digvijay Singh did not have the backing of the Gandhis. Will this be seen as tactical retreat on his part?
Yeah, I think so, because he may have hoped with the exit of Mr. Ashok Gehlot, there was a possibility that the Gandhis might back his candidature. And he talked about throwing his hat in the ring. But once it was clear that it was going to be Mr. Kharge, then obviously the perception is that Mr. Kharge is really the candidate of the Gandhis, backed by the Gandhis, no matter what Mr. Mistry says. One thing I want to say, one more thing I want to say, and that is, that there is a growing aversion in the country against entitlement. Whether it's political entitlement, bureaucratic entitlement, and the BJP has very systematically pushed Rahul Gandhi in the corner as Pappu, of course, as Prince, of course, but really as a symbol of political entitlement. And that is one of the reasons why that he's not had the kind of traction that he had hoped for. Now, why non-Gandhi to be a president? I think it is that your fight, it's not only the BJP that's saying Congress Mukt Bharat or a Gandhi family Mukt Congress, that idea is resonating in the country. And I think the Gandhi family has to take note of that. I mean, I hope Mr. Kharge is not going to be the image I remember of Mr. Motilal Vora running behind Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi. I hope he will have greater dignity, authority, autonomy.
Yes. Okay, I have just enough time for Rashid Kidwai and his final words. Rashid, will this really lead to that massive transformation or image building exercise that the Congress is looking at? And particularly that we are looking at an 80-year-old who will be given the task of rejuvenating cadres. Will they be enthused?
I think far from it. It's not at all. If you look at Mr. Kharge's track record in Punjab earlier, where he was said to be, responsible for propping up Charanjit Singh Channi as Chief Minister, and in what happened in Jaipur, where he had gone as an observer and it made a mute spectator of the mockery that was made about CLP leadership, etc. I think that's where Gandhis have a chance. And Maria, I don't agree with all other panelists who are presenting, other than Shama, a very dismal picture. I think Gandhis have because today was the last day of filing nominations. Tomorrow is another day. From tomorrow, electioning starts. And if Gandhis show and make a very public pronouncement that they are not party to either this candidate or that candidate, I think it will show them in a much better light.
Okay, so you are of the opinion that this intrigue should end and that they should publicly come and announce so. Rashid?
Absolutely. And announce so and allow this, because if the party is in, going down, let there be some kind of messaging. I mean, I'm just saying a kind of utopian scenario.
But it's done through Mr. Mistry. Mr. Mistry is in charge. Mr. Mistry said what they want to say. That's why Mr. Mistry said that. Mr.
All right,
Kadwai,
Dr. Shah
please try to understand. We don't need to come and give
Sanjay Kumar, Tuhin Sinha, thank you so much for joining us. We're slipping into a short break. After that, a member of G23, former Maharashtra Chief Minister Prithviraj Chavan will be joining me in just a bit. He was present at the time when Mallikarjun Kharge filed his nomination papers. He was also one of the proposers.